Hello, long time no sermon. Okay, I actually have a few references prepared. Now, if you know me, I'm probably gonna go off the cuff and not necessarily get the reference because sometimes the verse just comes out and I didn't plan for it. But we're gonna try to stick to the plan. All right, are you ready? Okay, so lately, I've had a phrase, a biblical verse. One phrase from that whole verse, which we'll get to, that I've really kind of been milling over, for lack of a better word. And then there's conversations that I've had with people where that applied also to their situation, and just some things that I even needed to be reminded of. So lately, I've had this verse in my head. As you know, maybe you don't. I've had a pretty severe chronic illness for 10 years, but then we were good for 9, and then all of a sudden on the 10th, as of January 2025, it reared its ugly head out of remission and got 100 times worse than it ever was, and we're still in the battle. So, greetings from Seattle, Washington. This is where the neuroendocrine surgeon is. So, here I am. Got to get fixed. So, it's been hard. It's been a hard year, right? Hard year and a half. As I've stated before, I had a major loss, personally, in my life, that I was not wanting to lose. But that happens. God will have his way. That's all I can do to comfort myself is that must have just not been what he wanted. He'll give you what you need, not what you want, right? And then all the sickness, the loss of your health is upsetting, the loss of some people that, God gave me the discernment that we had to let them go. Maybe it's forever, maybe it's for a time. I'm not sure. He'll let me know, but I knew it wasn't good. It was bringing me down. And I felt like very clearly, like, we need to walk away from this. Right now, the time in your life that you're in, we can't have anything toxic. I hate that word, but you know what I'm trying to say. So a lot of loss. I was living in DC for a year straight, with nobody. Like, when I lived in Texas, I had a few people, this was just me. Now, I had a hometown friend, 2 hometown friends there, but, I was very ill, so, like now. So, I wasn't getting out much. My best friend became John MacArthur. I mean, in Jesus, and I listened to him every night for hours. I don't know if it was what was a healthy distraction. It helped. It guarded my mind when it was going off the rails, right? So lately, I've been through a whirlwind that has ended up here in Seattle, Washington. 3,800 miles away from Washington, D.C., and probably more than that from Florida, where I live, where my family's from. So, I've been going over, in my mind, this verse just kept popping up. And it is, it's something that I've had to continuously say, so I'm just going to read it to you. The phrase was count it all joy. Now, listen, I was raised a Baptist, so we're gonna go in context here. And so James, I'm not sure if it's the disciple James or James, the brother of Jesus. Pretty sure it's the disciple James because he was the head of the Church of Israel. He stayed. He never left. Correct me if I'm wrong, theologians, but I do believe he was one that didn't go off. So we're gonna start there with him. The phrase I've had repetitively in my head is count it all joy. Count it all joy. Right? Count it all joy. It's a really hard thing to do. Okay, so let's read what James had to say first. I'm going to read out of the, I don't know how y'all feel about different versions. I prefer the NSAB. Just because. So, here's what James had to say. After Jesus had been gone a while, right? So I'm not sure how much longer James lived after. We know he did not live as long as John. John was the one that ended up living the longest, but he was around a while. Here's what he says. When he's speaking to the 12 tribes who have now been dispersed, as in spread amongst the world. He says, consider it all joy, my brothers and sisters. Now, some say count it, some say consider it. When you encounter various trials. Here we go. You're like, what? Now he's going to tell you why. Knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. And let its endurance have its perfect result, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. But if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives to all generously and without reproach, and it will be given to him. But you must have faith when you ask this, no doubting. For the one who doubts is like the surf of the sea, driven and tossed by the winds. For the person ought not to expect that he will receive anything from the Lord, being double-minded, unstable in all his ways. So that's the context of what we're talking about. So let's go to the next video.